Hello, it's Playkey.net again. You may have forgotten that once upon a time you subscribed to this channel. That's because we try not to bother you without good reason. But today, we have good reason. First of all, we have a couple of new releases to offer you in our catalog. Secondly, we have big news about our platform's evolution. We are proud to announce that Playkey is continuing its global expansion. If English is your second language and you eat sausages and drink beer for breakfast, then we've got some good news for you. The next country to be getting our platform is Germany. Our servers have been there for a while, outside Frankfurt and not far from Twitch's servers. Why exactly did we choose the country of winning punctuality? Numbers, facts, and events. There are 37 million gamers in Germany. Independent studies have called it the gaming capital of Europe. Only China, the US, and Japan are larger in terms of economy. In Germany, esports has almost been made an official sport. And they're doing fine in terms of the internet. 90% of the population is online. We couldn't not take advantage of this. And we began a partnership with G-Core Labs, a leading solutions provider, a while ago. These are the people who helped wargaming with War of Tanks, so they know how to work with heavy loads. What's more, I'd like to remind you that Playkey is now actively working on an ICO, so it's a nice bonus for us that Germany in particular is one of the first countries in the European Union to accept Bitcoin. It's not everything, but loyalty to the legal framework of cryptocurrency will come in handy. I won't torture myself or you with any attempts at speaking German, so this bit of news won't affect the blog. What it will affect is the Playkey experience for all of our subscribers in Europe. It lowers the load on other locations, meaning the queue will be shortened. The distance to the nearest server will be reduced for thousands of gamers, and ping will be reduced along with it. And of course, most importantly, the site will now be available in a huge part of our audience's native language. Will be translated into German. We have two updates to the catalog today. They're total opposites. One is the calm and almost meditative survival game Subnautica, which even a child can figure out. The other is a crazy Asian fighting game that's not easy at all to approach. I suggest weighing the pros and cons to help you decide which game is better to play this week. If you prefer to work with your head, formulate tactics, make life or death decisions in extreme conditions, then the choice for you is Dragon Ball Z. I'm not kidding. It's a fighting game, which means your mind has to be quick and agile. Although at first it seems like beating the bad guy isn't difficult, you have to work out the possible scenarios every second and be prepared to strike back or go on the defensive. You have to analyze your enemy's behavior and in a split second find gaps in their tactics. As a huge fan of fighting games, I assure you that it's a good one. However, if you want to think slowly and deliberately, then you should head right for Subnautica. In Subnautica, no one is hurrying or rushing. It's a classic survival game, just underwater. Loads of difficulties are constantly crashing down on you, but you use planning, analysis, and calculation to work your way through them. Create your own underwater base, explore the depths, and fight for your life against aggressive fauna. What's more, you can just sit down and play Subnautica. The plot can be summed up in a couple sentences, and it's just a backdrop for your exploration. Sadly, you won't get any dialogues, characters, or cinematic cutscenes. It's the total opposite of Dragon Ball Z. If you haven't seen at least a couple scenes of classic anime, you won't understand a single thing. The game is aimed exclusively at anime fans, who will find it crazy interesting. The narrative mode is truly narrative. The story, which, as it happens, I didn't understand at all, integrates a lot of characters, touches on global issues, and is split into 3 powerful narrative arcs. Judging by its very high scores from game critics, the story was written not just to tick the box. Okay, here's my most controversial point, but I'm going to try to find a fair middle ground. If you're captivated by Subnautica, you'll spend up to 100 hours playing it or more. That's how the genre works. You'll always have ways to develop. There will always be something to explore, and there will always be new discoveries to make on other planets. You become more of a threat to your surroundings, and your surroundings eagerly answer you with similar threats. This will be harsh, but can you imagine how much time people spend playing Minecraft? Hundreds, thousands of hours. And despite the fact that there are no blocks in Subnautica, it can captivate you with the same force. But I could say the same thing about Dragon Ball Z, or maybe worse. Since it's an excellent fighting game, the mechanics are really simple and can reel you in again and again. How much time have people spent playing Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat? Unlike Subnautica, you can play this game for 10 to 15 minutes and fight through 1 or 2 battles, but your overall timer will quickly pass all reasonable limits. This is a game that lets you improve your abilities almost infinitely, which means that you can spend as much time as you'd like doing that. It seems like these two games have nothing in common. The genres are different, their priorities are different, their durations are different, and their formats are different. But actually, they're more similar than they seem. They require mastery, they're created in the highest standards, and they're both on Playkey in 60 FPS and Full HD. And that brings us to the end. Doesn't feel like enough? If you want more news and want to immerse yourself in the inner workings of our project, then I'd like to share this with you in conclusion. Medium.com/@Playkey. As you may have guessed, this is our Medium blog. On it, we publish reports and logs. We discuss the progress we're making on our decentralized platform. We share interviews with our authors and we share essays. For example, you can read more about the business interests of the German and South Korean gaming markets. Now, I'm really done. We'll see you again when we have something else to say, and don't lose your key to play.